peace and love. Let's get into it.
Coming up next, we are getting into the wild world of Sabaton. This is an animated story video called No Bullets Fly. I am very intrigued. This looks amazing. Let's get into it.
It's December the 20th, 1943, and in the freezing air high above Germany, Second Lieutenant Charles Charlie Brown is at the controls of his B-17F, Ye Olde Pub. At 11:30, approaching the target of the Focke-Wulf plant near Bremen, the pub is rocked as 4 explosions go off right in front of the B-17. A cry comes across the intercom. "We're hit!" In the plexiglass nose, a huge hole had been made and icy cold wind was being blown inside, making freezing conditions for the crew. Engine 2 had been hit, and co-pilot Spencer Pinky Luke let out an expletive as he noticed a huge hole in the right wing. Releasing their bombs over the factory, the crew turned to the north, planning to head over the coast, then turn west for home. With one engine out and engine 4 now faulty, the pub started to fall back from the formation with another damaged plane. Sam Blackie Blackford in the bull turret watched as it disappeared into a cloud bank. There was an orange flash in the cloud. "Bandits!" Eckie shouted as 5 BF-109s streaked from the cloud bank. Then another cry. "Bandits!" as 8 FW-190s were spotted in formation ahead of the pub. Sergeant Bertram Frenchy Coulomb in the turret shot the 190 out of the sky. The navigator, Al Doc Sadek, took out the second. Pinky reported that engine 3 had been hit. That left just one engine at full power. The BF-109s attacked the pub from behind, swarming all over. But due to the cold wind running through the pub, most of the guns were frozen. In a turn now, the pub was repeatedly hit, taking extreme damage and killing the tail gunner. A shell penetrated and exploded near the waist gunners, injuring the crew and creating a huge hole. The oxygen supply was taken out and the pub spun towards the ground.
Can we just talk about how insane it is back in World War I and II and stuff, the dogfights and everything in the sky, the planes, like the engineering and everything, just it's so... Formulate your thoughts, Dan. It's just, I can't believe it happened. You know what I mean? Like going kind of that far back in time, going to sort of, you know, coming up to like around 100 years ago almost sort of thing. Flying around in the sky, having fights in the sky with the engineering they had available at the time. It's just insane. And there were certain cases, I think, like if you've ever seen the film or read the book is amazing, Unbroken. About Olympic runner Louis Zamperini, I believe his name was, and he was kind of flying. That was kind of sort of more between America and Japan, wasn't it? Like around Hawaii, the areas they were kind of flying from and stuff. I think, and man, most planes would just fall out of the sky without ever being any kind of altercation. Just most deaths, I think, were happening from the planes just not working or just something going wrong. The risk of it, the danger of it, every time you got in one of those things, it's very unlikely you were coming back. You know what I mean? That must have gone through your head. Just insane to me. I'm really enjoying the kind of soundtrack behind this narration as well. It's that classic kind of tense thriller battle music, a little staccato and just real rhythm to it, real pace, great intensity to it.
The cold wind running through the pub, most of the guns were frozen. In a turn now, the pub was repeatedly hit, taking extreme damage and killing the tail gunner. A shell penetrated and exploded near the waist gunners, injuring the crew and creating a huge hole. The oxygen supply was taken out and the pub spun towards the ground. With the crew unconscious due to lack of oxygen, the B-17 fell for 4 miles. Charlie started to come around and grabbed the controls, pulling back as the plane continued to fall. 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet, 3,000 feet. just moments from hitting the earth, the plane pulled up, almost scraping the trees as it did.
Now, the listening to the soundtrack music at the beginning and then going into the guitar riff of this and the rhythms of it, it mirrors somewhat that tense action orchestral battle music, doesn't it? It's quite similar in sort of pacing, in feel, just different instrumentation. And I don't know, I think that's kind of interesting when you hear them back to back like that and see like Sabaton as a metal band, they are actually kind of recreating action music, you know, battle music. It's very, very cool. I've only heard a couple of songs from Sabaton, so you know I am still pretty new. Man. Katrina says, by the way, you will hear the pronunciation of Sabaton in this video. Awesome, because I don't know if I'm saying it right at all. This is a real story, not fiction. Yeah, I mean the like fact is often stranger than fiction, isn't it? And from World War II and everything, there's so many stories that are unbelievable. Ninja says, this is what a pilot would call limping home. Man. Ninja also says, dogfights still happen today. Planes are harder to hit and they have more reliable ejection seats. Also, the guns are shooting 50 cals so fast they literally look like a laser. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's still like combat in the air, right? But it's not as kind of janky, I guess, as it was, right? Like just metal up in the air. Making do, patching things up kind of thing. It's like that now there are these highly advanced robotic machines in the air, you know what I mean, with all kinds of autopilots and stuff and all kinds of stuff to help you out. But to just be there kind of in the elements, you know what I mean, holes in it and stuff, and be flying around and shooting bullets at each other in the sky, it's mad. It's mad to me. I really like this animation style as well. Very, very cool.
Enemy spotted, so hurry up, rearm and refuel. But through the bombers damaged that dream, see wounded men scared to the bone. Look to the right and then look again, and see the enemy in the eye. No bullets fly, spared by his mercy. Escorted out of harm's way. Fly, fighting fair is the code of the air.
bringing in choral elements. Sort of, this is the first time in the track where we're starting to bring in more kind of emotive harmonies and things. Like, it's been very, very driving, punchy. That's kind of, it feels like Sabaton to me is the History Channel put through a distortion pedal and an overdrive with some Jack Daniels poured on top. And that's kind of what the experience I'm having from listening to them, you know? It's really, really interesting. Ninja says, not janky at all. They go supersonic and have way more efficient engines. To be clear, just to be clear, I was saying that World War II planes that have been blown to pieces and still flying around in the sky, that's what's janky, not modern planes. Imagine flying home with half your plane missing. Yeah, it's unimaginable to me. It's insane what people went through back then, like, and how they handled those situations. Like, very, very, very tough human beings, with some serious, like, resilience. You know what I mean? To be able to keep a level head and not panic. It's just insane. Katrine says, Sweden builds one of the best fighter jets in the world, the JAS-39 Gripen. Didn't know that. Parola says, JAS planes are noisy. My parents live close to a military airfield and those planes are loud when they fly over us, I bet. And Katrine says, a German pilot escorting the B-17 home. Interesting. A little like lesser known fact, with the name of the plane, Ye Olde Pub. It's actually, in Old English, ye was pronounced the. So we didn't actually say ye, we said the. It's just sort of written as ye. And old with E was old, not oldie or something like that. Because I hear people say Ye Olde Pub or something like that. But it would just be the old pub, even if it's written like that. Though, that said, in the context of this, they may have like called it that name and then always called it Ye Olde Pub or whatever, you know, just for fun. But just a little history fact for you there.
The story was kept secret until 1986, when Brown started the search for the German pilot who had shown mercy on that December day all those years ago. In 1990, Brown received a letter from a man named Stigler, who was living in Canada. Stigler explained that he had been the pilot of the German fighter who had escorted Ye Olde Pub. This video is of their first meeting.
Franz, what were your feelings when you met again for the first time?
I was so happy as we met that I clapped him and hugged him. It wasn't easy.
The fact that he risked his life really in many ways, and I wrote him in a letter, I said, if you made a habit of feeling sorry for bomber crews, flag up alongside them, I am sure that you were shot down many times. But it was not only the audacity that he came up to us and then recognizing the threat. If someone had seen him and reported him, it could have been a death sentence.
Franz gifted Charlie a book, and inside the inscription read, "In 1940, I lost my only brother as a night fighter. On the 20th of December, 4 days before Christmas, I had the chance to save a B-17 from her destruction. A plane so badly damaged It was a wonder that she was still flying. The pilot, Charlie Brown, is for me as precious as my brother was. Thanks, Charlie. Your brother Franz. In 2008, within a few months of each other, the two firm friends went on their final journey. Franz Stigler never got the Knight's Cross, but as he always said, he got something better.
It's the code of the air. Brothers, heroes, foes. Killing machine.
Mark, you gotta listen.
In the sky, B-17, flying home. Killing machine. Said goodbye to the cross. See the sun.
Hi, my name is Jovita Tan Stiegler. I would like to thank Sabaton and your song, No Bullets Fly. Because of this, the story of my father will live on. See you on your next concert tour. Safe journey, gentlemen, and again, thank you.
Wow. Man. And the more I listen to Sabaton and the more I see their videos and everything, the more I get what they're all about, and preserving history, which is so important. And I think it shows so much about the humanity of people within a war situation, you know what I mean? Because there are good people out there, and it's not this black and white thing of always us against them. There are good people on each side, and you see this, you know, because it's not the individuals, it's not the people on the ground, the real people who want war, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to go to the pub and enjoy the sunshine. Everybody wants to have a cup of tea and chat and have a laugh, you know what I mean? Like, it's we're not who wants to kill each other? Like, why? Life is this beautiful sacred thing that we get this brief little time on earth, this lovely little window, and we're the luckiest out of like millions of the chance of being born is so unlikely, and you made it to life, and then you die over somebody else's decision, over a load of propaganda and a load of bollocks that is just ridiculous, and it's sickening, and it's happening today. It's happening right now. As Claire says in the chat, I just can't help but think of all those who live under war right now. I wish for peace. Exactly. Like, it's so stupid, and it's such a waste, and it's always old men sending young men to go and die, you know what I mean? Like, for some cause, and it's just brainwashing. And Ninja says the world could accomplish so much more if everyone stopped fighting. Imagine if we all stopped focusing on war and fighting and started focusing on like preserving our planet, preservation, rewilding, and creating a better world, better education, all the wonderful things that money could be put into, that time and effort could be put into, would be amazing. My uncle Gustav he's passed now, may rest in peace, a few years back, but he was German, of course, Gustav, and he fought in World War II under Rommel, I think, and he was a paratrooper, and he was jumping out of planes and stuff in northern Africa, and all this stuff. And he had a story that they were sort of in the trenches, and one of his people, he was quite like high ranking, you know, and one of his people volunteered to do the night watch, right? And he was a bit suspicious of that. Nobody goes and volunteers to stand in the rain or whatever, or the heat or the cold, and just look out over no man's land waiting to get shot, you know what I mean? That's not something you volunteer for. So he followed him to this post and watched him, and he got to the post, and this German guy, he jumped over the trench, started walking across to the English trench, and so my Uncle Gustav followed him, and then he sees his guy jump into the English trench, and they start passing cigarettes around and chocolate and stuff like that. And you know, I remember saying, like, so what did you do then, Uncle Gustav? And he was like, well, I jumped in after him. You should have seen his face. And I was like, then what happened? He was like, well, we had a smoke, we had a chat, we had some chocolate, and then we went back to our trench. And it was like just the most normal thing. And it was like, it told me so much as a kid, like kind of hearing that story about, like, because we're brought up with such a concept of good and evil, aren't we? You know what I mean? But it's just like, that's not it. People are all the same. And there were so many cases of that going on where Germans and English were meeting up and breaking bread together because we're all human beings. You know what I mean? Like, it's, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a human being, then you are my brother or sister. It's that simple. Like, it doesn't matter what your religion, ethnicity, or whatever. We're human. So it's really, really that simple, isn't it? You know? And anything else, I think, is just nonsense. And I think this video here, this story, is exactly the same. You know, it's exactly the same thing, of just a moment of compassion, of kindness, even though people who are meant to be enemies, they're not. They're brothers. You know, and it was the human and right thing to do was to escort them to ground and help them. You know, it doesn't matter what side you're on, and we're seeing this. We still see this all over the world, and yeah, I have nothing good to say about war. It just shouldn't happen in 2026. You know, so wishing for all wars to end and wishing for peace for everyone. And I really respect Sabaton for doing what they're doing and sharing these positive human stories. You know, it's a really wonderful thing. That was Sabaton, No Bullets Fly. Man. Okay. Janira says, I'd like to comment, but I only feel negativity toward topics like this, so I'll stay silent. Yeah, I'm sending you love, Janira. Like, it's... There is nothing good to say. You know what I mean? There is nothing. It is... Yeah. And as Claire says, you have a more valid voice on this subject right now than any of us, by far. You know what I mean? Like... Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement. So as always, sending you lots and lots of love, General.